Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott! I'm Christopher Lloyd here, talking with GQ about some of my iconic characters. Back to the Future. I got the script, read the script, and I discarded it, something you don't usually do. And a friend of mine who was there said, you know, I never did that when I was in New York. No matter how remote the possibility that I might be cast, I'd show up. So I thought, yeah, she's right. So I got it out of the way straight from a basket. And I went back and met Bob Zemeckis. And it all came true.
What did I tell you? 88 miles per hour!
He was always like 1 second away from a crisis, and the whole universe as we know it will collapse if you mess up the time-space continuum. So there's that pressure, and also I used to read about scientists like Einstein. I read Einstein biography and a couple of others. People get so involved, you know, in something, and then they're getting on a bus, and bingo, E equals MC squared, you know? And I felt the doc had a lot of that in me.
That was the day I invented time travel. I remember it vividly. I was standing on the edge of my toilet, hanging a clock. The porcelain was wet. I slipped, hit my head on the edge of the sink, and when I came to, I had a revelation, a vision, a picture in my head, a picture of this. This is what makes time travel possible. The flux capacitor.
Well, I usually try to stay in character, you know, without being passed away, but just to hold on to it. I remember one time when I was starting out filming, I had a fairly tricky scene for me at the time. It was a master shot. And finally they got it, what they wanted, and I felt great. I went to craft services, and then they said, now we're going to do the close-ups. And I was like, oh my God, because I was done already. You know, I didn't think about it. So I just try to stay focused, whether I'm sitting in my trailer waiting or whatever, because I want to be there when the moment comes. I did not do that. I did not do that from up 4 flights. That's a stunt guy did that. He did a stunt once on the Statue of Liberty where he was on a flagpole up on top, and the flagpole be released and bend down to some ledge or whatever, and he'd drop off. And he did that. You know, I was crazy. And he said the only thing he was afraid of is that the pole would snap. Otherwise, everything was fine.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Well, we're going, we don't need roads.
There was another actor, and Michael came in after, we shot for 6 weeks. They just decided that they needed somebody with a comic flair, you know, and Stoltz is a wonderful actor. I had no idea there was a change coming. One night we were shooting in the mall, the beginning sequence. We were asked to come to one of the trailers at 1 o'clock in the morning. And Spielberg was there, and he made the announcement of the change. My biggest fear was that, because I was really working to get Doc right. I was the starter. I thought, I don't know if I could get it up to do that again. So I was worried about it, but it all worked out. Michael, we had chemistry which lasted the whole time. We could come back after a break and it would just be there. You know, you didn't have to work for it. So that was great.
Your future is whatever you make it. So make it a good one. Both of you.
We will, Doc.
Stand back.
You know, 3 or 4 or 5 years, it sank in that this dust doesn't stop. I mean, kids who saw it when the film first came out grew up and had kids they began their lives with it. And so many people have come up to me and saying how I made their childhood, or the film made their childhood, or they became engineers or scientists or surgeons or whatever from the effect of the film on them. And nothing else I've done has had that kind of impact. Morty. Well, oh,
jeez.
I knew a little bit. You know, I hadn't been watching, but I'd seen the characters. I thought it was kind of fun, you know, kind of cool. I just thought it'd be great to see the world of Rick and Morty and Doc and Marty somehow collide out in some galactic, hundreds of millions of miles away, and suddenly, that could be fun. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I went to New York right out of high school, and I was in New York until Cuckoo's Nest, until after it opened. And I just got to a point where I felt some actors don't make the transition from theater to film. And that maybe, because I went up for films, I'd be sent up, nothing. And then they came to New York to cast One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I was submitted, auditioned. I may have auditioned twice, I'm not sure. And then that's that.
You know what, Hardy? I think you're some kind of morbid asshole or something.
Asshole again.
Feel peculiar.
I've been talking about your wife ever since I can remember. You know, she's on your mind and blah, 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 blah.
It was great because I think most of us were there about 2 weeks before we started shooting, and we go to the various areas of the facility, people in for different levels of emotional problems. And we sat in on meetings, actually, like the ones in the film. So it was great. It was really helpful. It was said that over time, we were there for 12 weeks, many of the staff felt some of the cast needed to be institutionalized.
Look, come on. I can be pushed just so far, see? You touch me once more. Just touch me once more. Just once more, huh? Just once more. Just touch me once more.
Play the game, Hardy.
Just touch me once more, you Jesus!
So they had to completely shift the schedule around. But I remember when we picked up the scene again after he came back, which was about maybe 3 weeks later or whatever, I couldn't get into the groove. I couldn't get back there. I couldn't find my way back into the scene. I was aware of it. Nicholson kind of came over to me, just, you know, nonchalant. He was messing around. And he said something to me that put me right back there, right back in the scene. I was like, saved. I was in Boston after Cuckoo's Nest opened. I was by myself. I had dinner. And this group they're all Scottish, the kilts, the whole deal, bagpipes, about 4 or 5 of them, going by and then coming by another way. I mean, they were just slowly going all over the place. And late at night, like 1-ish in the morning, one of them comes down, still in his gear, with playing the bagpipe. And I just stopped to watch him go by, because it was kind of surreal. Suddenly he looked at me and said, "I know you. You were in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest." Taxi, Cuckoo's Nest came out, and I got an agent, Beverly Hills. I was still living in New York, and I just packed up and came out. And I had lunch with the guy, and I was asked to sign. But I didn't want to do any sitcom. I had a kind of a attitude acquired in New York, going up there and everything, doing a sitcom. You know, what do you want to do that shit for? My new agent would send me up to meet other people at other sitcoms. And he would say, just, you know, go up and meet him, you never know, down the road. You know. I said, okay. And then I went up for a taxi and then ruined my life.
Well, boss, I'm back from my vacation.
You didn't happen to run into your brains while you were out there, did you?
No, but I wasn't really looking.
What I remember most about it, every once in a while on a Friday, because we do the show Friday nights, and there'd be a live audience, and we have complete run-through, costumes, everybody would be there, writers, you know. Now we got a break for dinner and get back in time. But there'd be something that needed a solution, some not working, and so we'd frantically work on that scene. And so they worked on that scene, you know, to come up with the tag on the scene, the right line. And I was still very new to this process. So I'm just like, you know, I'm in the fishbowl. And so they'd say, try this. So we'd do the scene. Didn't work. Try that. And somebody came up with that. I don't think it was a writer. It was somebody up in the ropes or somewhere. Somebody came up with that. Big no, it worked.
What does a yellow light mean?
Slow down.
Okay. What? Yellow light mean?
Slow down.
Okay. What?
What was that like working with Tom Hanks?
We didn't have any direct conversation, but we were bouncing around. As I remember, kind of in somebody's room at Harvard being assholes.
Don't you understand, huh? I mean, all the studying, all the books, in all the libraries, and all the gymnasiums. I forgot my thoughts.
He was early on in his career, but I remember somebody saying, that's Tom, I think. I didn't know that yet. Star Trek III, The Search for Spock.
Kapla Jawi. Angweje.
It was kind of a trip. They actually had a book, a dictionary of Klingonese. It was about that thick with all the word, meanings, pronunciation, use in a sentence, like a regular Webster's.
A failure. The most powerful destructive force ever created. You will tell me the secret of the Genesis torpedo.
I have no knowledge.
Then I hope pain is something you enjoy.
How do you feel you've been able to get into the mind of these more villainous characters?
Well, maybe I'm a repressed criminal. It's just an outlet. I don't know, I enjoy it.
Give me what I want, and I'll consider it.
You fool, look around you. The planet's destroying itself.
Yes, exhilarating, isn't it?
I mean, Captain Kirk, with that stuff I was wearing and the look of the face, and I have struggle with a huge worm and all that. I mean, that's kind of fun. The Tender Bar. Well, I got a call saying that I was being offered this role, and I got the script. I read the script, and I found my grandpa. I felt I could do something with that. I liked the character, so I was very excited. you all end up back here.
You are a stingy, crazy old bastard. You are not stingy with money.
Haven't got any.
You are stingy with love.
I didn't do that.
Girls become wives and mothers. That was his point of view.
You became one of them.
Oh, shut up, you old turd!
He bought this house. He does nothing to improve it or take care of it. And he has a family, none of whom seem to be able to make enough money to have their own house. So they're all in there, and it's not what he wants. He wants them to do as well as they can under the circumstances. And I just feel he feels a lot. He feels for them, whether it's the kid or his wife, or brother, whoever. He feels for them. But it's hell a lot of the time. It's from a woman who earns $30 a day.
And after college. At Harvard or Yale, you are going to law school.
So you can sue your father for child support.
No, so he can help you with your fines about the septic tank.
I like, how diverse Grandpa is, farting away. I haven't seen one of those around. So I feel I broke new ground, and I love that about him. And in the novel, there's some little pieces about him that aren't in the film simply, because they couldn't put everything in there. But yeah, he's a piece of work. Our educational system, and indeed our society as a whole, was destroyed in the 19th century by the German influence.
Really?
Ability as a concept turned into a mechanical, empirical construct. But he really does love the kid and really sees potential there. And he tells the kid, your mom's got something there that's going to be taken out. Be nice to your mom. He's got a heart. Regardless of the system in place, he's the likeliest to be able to leave my house on his own abilities. It's like working with the A-team. All of them are so wonderful, so talented, so committed, all of us to George. That was wonderful. I mean, you do your work, come in prepared, and he just brings it out. There's a lot of heart from everybody, which I think makes the film so good.